Fly, Eagles, fly up against the house that Mahomes built in Super Bowl 47. LeBron is a few games away from passing Kareem. The NBA All-Star starters have been revealed. We got a lot more to talk about. Let's start the show. All right, what is going on? We came to see what all the buzz about. This is the Unbiased Podcast where we break down sports' biggest stories. But remember, there's more than one side of the story, and I can't tell it by myself. That's why I got the squad with me. Cam, Ty, what's good, fellas?
What's going on, dude?
Not much. I'm getting these updates by the minute. And starting with, we got some breaking news. We're gonna venture off for a second. We got some breaking news. The Broncos have reached a deal with former Saints head coach Sean Payton. They're still waiting for things to be finalized, and some conversation has to be done with New Orleans and now former Texans player DeMeco Ryans. He was the San Francisco 49ers defensive coordinator. It will be named the Texans head coach. Real quick, I'm going to start off with you, Cam. Which was a better hire, Sean Payton or DeMeco Ryans?
Sean Payton. I mean, when you hear that name, it's I kind of think he can coach anywhere. But I think the Texans, the 49ers defense has been really, really good last couple of years, and especially this year. So that's a huge pickup for the Texans. I think with how the Broncos did this year, Sean Payton's probably the perfect coach that they picked for that organization. Texans, they're rebuilding though. I mean, they had such a bad season too. Getting a good defensive coach, I mean, pretty solid. But I would probably go with Sean Payton.
Yeah, I guess I can't disagree with you there. As much as I just want to disagree.
Yeah, dude, I hate picking them.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I really don't see a scheme where he can't come in and add to it. You know what I mean? Or switch things around for the better of the team. You know what I mean? So it's just like it's a win-win situation with him at this point, honestly.
I agree it's a win-win situation, but I think with the questions that we have with Russell Wilson isn't Drew Brees. Sean Payton had Drew Brees for 15 years. I'm not taking anything away from what Sean Payton brings as a mind, offensive mind. But they only won the Super Bowl one time. Okay. Every time they went to the NFC Championship game, we know how that went down. Those guys, that pass interference call that wasn't called. But in overtime, when they won the toss, Drew Brees threw a pick anyways. So, and the Texans have a situation where they can get a brand new quarterback, preferably Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud from the draft, and they can build. And now you got a guy like DeMeco Ryans who had that San Francisco defense really, really solid. Besides Sunday, they didn't have any 70-yard rushers. That secondary, they were second in the league in takeovers. So I think he can bring that pizzazz, that fire, that swag that Houston needs. And the AFC South, you got the Jaguars, the Titans, and the Colts. Houston has a chance. So I can't get with that Sean Payton hire because the AFC West has Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes and whoever's going to play quarterback for the Raiders with Devontae Adams, that's a tough division to get out of. So I like the hire for the Houston Texans.
Yeah, I mean, defense wins games. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's just the contribution level. You know what I mean? Like, not saying that he's not going to contribute to the defensive side, because we know he is, and we know how much he's going to contribute. But like, who needed it more? You know what I mean? That I think that's what I'm taking more in consideration. Like, they're in need over there of whatever they can fucking get their hands on. They'll take it. You know what I mean? But I mean, not saying that the Titans don't need, but I don't think they need as much.
I think, I mean, part of it too is, when Dameon Pierce comes back healthy, you're going to have a sophomore running back who he had a great year. I mean, that he had a phenomenal year, man. Hate that he got hurt. But then now you're looking at bringing in a rookie quarterback. So now you're going to have a rookie quarterback and a sophomore running back who's coming off an injury, and new head coach, defensive mindset. So, I mean, it's I don't know. I just think that Russell Wilson's been in the league long enough, and Sean Payton, obviously, as long as he was with the Saints, he knows football, obviously. So I just think that they're just going to have that, like, veteran, like, just advantage than what the Texans are going to have.
Yeah.
So in the division with the Chargers, Chiefs, and Raiders, do you see the Broncos being a playoff team?
No, I don't.
Exactly. The Texans can sneak into playoffs, be a win in the division. I understand Doug Peterson's in Jacksonville and Trevor Lawrence is there, but D'Amico Ryans already knows the game plan. He just did it for the last couple years in San Fran. He has Dameon Pierce, strong running game, get you a defense. They drafted Derek Stingley, the third pick last year. He's solid. You build up that defense. You don't have to do too much with the rookie quarterback. Just have them game manager position. I firmly believe whoever they decide picking, whether it be Stroud or Bryce Young or even Will Levis, are better than the quarterbacks they have currently on the roster. So I just feel like Texans have an easier route, per se, to the playoffs.
I'll take that. But I mean, I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying, who needs more help? That's where
the Texans definitely need more help, but in a league where anything can happen, they might strike gold with their pick at quarterback. I don't know who they're thinking about or how they're going about bringing that team, but they might strike gold in the draft. The thing is with Russell Wilson, he had all those pieces around him in Denver this year. So, with the exception of Jamonte Williams and a very top-notch defense.
I'm not convinced that Russell isn't a part of the problem. That's the thing. Like, I'm not convinced.
I'm just saying, bro, like, the Broncos have needed help for so long. Bro, they draft great players.
Yeah.
And they do nothing there. Nothing. No matter what quarterback they get, they're not doing anything. The running backs ain't doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they make playoffs here and there.
But I got to tell you something.
But that's it. I mean, that's literally it.
And
I mean, with the exception, obviously, of when Peyton was there and won a Super Bowl. But
playoffs and Peyton was there.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
they need help.
They got to get out of. I don't know. I feel like that they pick up a quarterback like every year and a half, and then they sign like 3 or 4 quarterbacks during the offseason, and they cut 2 of them, and then bring in like 3 more for whatever reason. And then same thing with coaches. They bring in a coach. Oh, you didn't win the season. He gets out, and then they bring in another guy.
That's because their defense is stellar. They have Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton. They got a decent running back field once Williams gets healed. And now we have to rely on Russell Wilson. When Russell Wilson's teams was legit in Seattle, they always made the playoffs. But when they were legit Super Bowl contenders, it was because of the defense. It was because of the running game. He did just enough. I don't know that Sean Payton wants to play just enough offense with a guy like Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm. I feel that. And that's what I'm saying. I don't know that he's not a part of the problem because, one, it's not the same Russell. This is not the same Russell that we see.
So Sean Payton is the guy to fix it?
Sean Payton might be the guy to fix the scenario. Maybe not fix him. Because they need something. I mean, obviously, it's a coaching defect. It can't just be a player defect. Because, like we said, they draft great players. But what do they do with them players? So they are.
And Sean Payton. Sorry, man.
You good?
I just think that Sean Payton's just going to have more ties. So he's got coaches that'll come with him. So I just think it's a better pickup.
We'll see. Just real quick before we get to the next segment, how many games now with Sean Payton at the fold and basically the same squad coming back? How many games can you see the Broncos winning this year? Last year, this past season, they only won 4. So, are we talking 9 or 10?
No,
I'm not talking that 7 to 8 range.
I'm talking like the 7 to 8. I think with with a little guidance, they might be able to pull off a couple of those close games that they didn't get to pull off this season.
I can give you that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, then. So we're going to move on, and we're going to see what happens with the new Tua's head coaching hires. We got Giannis Antetokounmpo and LeBron James will be the team captains for All-Star Weekend. Again, this year, the captains will pick their teams in a televised pre-segment a couple hours before the game. So joining Giannis as Eastern All-Star starters is Kyrie Irving, KD, Jason Tatum, and Donovan Mitchell. Meanwhile, there's Luka, Steph, Nikola Jokic, Zion Williamson alongside Bron being elected as starters in the West. So, with that being said, Cam, who would be your first pick taken from this year's group of All-Star starters?
Drum roll. Yeah, dude, I'm gonna take Jokic. He's two-time MVP, doing his thing. Putting up 25 a game, 62, almost 63% field goal percentage, shooting 39% from the 3, 10.9 rebounds a game, 9.9 assists a game, and almost a steal and a half. I mean, I really couldn't ask more of what he's kind of doing. Obviously, Tatum and KD and all them. I mean, they're scoring more points every game, obviously. But dude, him just doing it at his size, man, he just kind of dominates the game. That would probably be my first pick if I was one of the captains. If I had first pick, that's my pick.
I see you're Nikola Jokic, 2-time MVP, and I'm going to raise you a guy who's looking like he could get his first MVP, Luka Doncic. So Luka Doncic is averaging 33 points. He has 4 50-point games this year, a couple 50-point triple-doubles, a 60-point triple-double that no one's ever done. And we're talking about the All-Star game, so we're talking about what can be the ultimate pickup game. So I see these group of All-Stars. I want Luka out there because Luka's going to control it. He's going to take the shots that he needs to take, and he's going to make the passes that he needs to make. And this is an All-Star game we're talking about. So we want to see the flash. Well, I don't know how much flash we'll see from Nikola Jokic. Boy, he can barely jump on the curb. So You got to go with my man Luka. That's the first pick for me.
Look at me. Look at me. I the captain now. Okay? I'm picking KD on Bucks. Come on, man. It's KD. Can't nobody shoot like me. Come on, man. It's simple, bro. When he's on the court, I mean, what do? You double him? You triple him? What are you gonna do? How do you guard Kevin Durant? I still yet to see anyone prove that it's a possibility. Yeah, you might shut him down a player or two. Whole game? 29 points average? Come on, man. He gonna come back healthier than ever, and he gonna come back killing everybody like he was before he left. It's that simple.
Here's the flaw in your plan, because we got to think about the captains. The captains are Giannis and the captains are LeBron. If depends on who picks first. If I'm Giannis and I'm picking KD first, I don't know what type of advantage that gives me. That's a lot of size over there, because you know Embiid's going to be an all-star. So I can't pick him now. So I can't get the defense. With Luka, it doesn't matter who get the first pick, LeBron or Giannis. He's going to elevate their team the best way. The thing with Jokic, with Cam's pick, Jokic is a great guy for LeBron all day, every day. I don't know how that would work on Giannis' squad.
Yeah, I mean, KD. Well, you can't really say that, because who don't want to play with KD, first of all, and who can't play with KD? I mean, it's KD. He gonna pass the ball. He gonna score when he want to score. He gonna help this.
He's talking about the pickup game, the ultimate all-star pickup game, and not.
Yeah, why wouldn't you pick up Kevin Durant?
I need to make sure that we win.
It's Kevin Durant.
I get that, and I'm not saying Luka's the better player than KD. What I'm saying, in a game where one game we just playing a pickup game, let's go out there and get some buckets. Luka's gonna get his buckets and make sure I get mine as well.
And you think KD not? that's what you lose.
KD gonna get his buckets, but on the opposite side, we don't know if he gonna make sure the other teammates get his.
I mean, yeah. KD gonna play some defense. You know what I'm saying? He's 7 feet. He better block something at least. You know what I mean? And then on the other side of the ball, KD facilitates. I mean, right now he's averaging like 5.3 this season, but I mean, he facilitates the ball. He ain't just holding on to the ball. I mean, he can't. They got to triple him. That's what I'm saying. They're going to have to triple him. So that's 2-3 players that you're not even concerned about no more, because they want KD. So I don't know. I mean, it's a solid pick either way.
Imagine this: Bron and Luka on the same squad, and let's just, for shits and giggles, let's say they got Donovan and Kyrie. Not only do Bron not have to take the shot or feel like he has to take the shot, he can get it to Luka, and Luka can get it to anybody, or Luka can make the shot. Luka's going to play at his pace. Jokic can play at his pace too as well. But the thing is, Jokic, he playing too much at his pace. This is the All-Star game. We want to see flash. We want to see fast pace. The ultimate pickup game. The ultimate pickup game. I don't know if there's going to be, besides Kyrie, I don't know if there's going to be a better person to make the decisions than Luka, and he can do that on anybody's squad.
Let's be real. How many All-Star games you seen with good defense in it?
The defense gonna come in the fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter. This not even a real game. They really not out there just like
strictly offense. Luka averaging 33. KD's averaging 29. What we talking about?
Currently, what's the difference? 4 points. Like
4 points, bro. That's it.
It's 4 points. You want me to tell KD put up 4 extra points? Is that what you're saying?
So you done seen the last couple All-Star games, right? And know you got the new All-Star format with the Elam in them. In the fourth quarter, whoever got the most points, you add 24 to it, and that's your target score. When the going get tough, Luka's gonna knock down them shots. KD, he gonna knock them down Not as an efficient clip as Luka. Don't quote me on that.
Don't miss. Like that man misses. They both miss. What's Luka's percentage right now from field goal? Like I'm pretty sure it's close, or maybe higher or lower than KD's right now. Like it's not like a big difference. That's what I'm saying. But the biggest difference is KD 7 feet.
Yeah, KD's is higher because Luka's at 50. But we're talking about a pickup game. We're talking about a pickup game where
We want to talk about a pickup game, the ultimate pickup, bro. You from the city, bro. We've seen KD play in the city. We've seen him play pickup games live. Like
Yeah,
he's crazy, bro. In pickup games, he's crazy. It's worse than the real game.
On LeBron's squad, and it just seemed like LeBron's gonna try to feed him the ball, try and get him the ball. On Giannis' squad, that's just easier for them to mix well. The same way on Jokic would mix well on LeBron's squad, just wouldn't mix as well as he would with Giannis. It doesn't matter with Luka. It don't matter who's on that squad. Luka's gonna ball.
Yeah, but dude, you could say the same thing, bro. Like, I mean, like Kyrie, same thing. He can ball on any squad. We've seen it over the years, man. He can ball with anybody.
I give you that. I can see that. They can ball with anybody, but Luka has a better. I give you this. I pick Luka first because he's a better chance to win the All-Star Game MVP than those names that you name.
I don't know. They all on the All-Star team for a reason.
Reason. Here's the thing: when Luka gonna see a couple of them go in, and they just gonna start. They just not gonna stop going in.
You act like was Luka the first name pulled out the hat or something? Because he's the only player.
No, you gotta look at what he's doing this year. He just put up 53 last night. Like,
this is true. He's balling, and I'm a Luka fan.
He is.
But Cam, put some sense into him, man. It's Kevin Durant, bro. That's all this is to be said. If you put KD and James on the same team, what you got? Goat and a goat? Two goats?
yeah, but they never worked. You understand?
Yeah, I don't. So, bro, I mean, I kind of made a list of like how I think it's gonna go for the teams. I think that's what it's gonna be, and yeah, bro. I had Giannis, Jokic, who else was it? Kyrie, and I think it was Steph. I think that was the 5. But yeah, dude, I mean, I'm just trying to see how many I can get right,
Most def. I think because anytime if you pick a guy like Luka with your first pick, then it's got to be shooters. I don't need too many big man unless Embiid or Sabonis makes it. But we'll see. I'm very intrigued to see who gets picks first and who gets picked last. I think the last person out of this group of people will be Donovan Mitchell to be picked. My personal.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell is one of my favorite players, but everything that you're doing, everybody else here can do at a even more elite level. So I just feel like he would be the last person picked out of that pool. It's not a slight at Donovan Mitchell or Zion, because I don't understand how Zion was a starter and John Morant wasn't. But let's move on.
No clue.
Don't get me started on Zion, please.
Let's move on. Zion's only played 29 games, and I got a lot of love for that man, but an all-star starter? Come on, man. We'll move on. LeBron James is currently 117 points away from passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for most points scored in NBA history. At his current scoring production, LeBron can pass this in about 4 games. So, does this change the GOAT conversation? Right now, before we get into this, I want to put a perspective on it. So, he's projected to break that record February 7th, a week from today. That it's in LA. That game tickets are going for $75,000, the cheapest. a ticket?
75,000.
75,000.
Like 75, comma.
Comma. Yeah.
7,500.
75K, motherfucker.
Bro.
The fuck?
That
You got
is
75,000 pay for the motherfucking tickets.
Oh, he breaking a record that I don't know that can be broken.
That's some bull.
bro, that is so much money. That is so much money.
That's way too much. Let me hold half of it.
I can't even. You got that much money to spend on a basketball game, bro?
On a game, bro. On 5
Like-
hours. 4 hours a day.
You're not even betting this.
No, you just watching it.
Like, you're just going to the game to spend more money.
And what would piss me off is if he go into the game a point away from the record. Bro, I know I ain't spent 75K just to watch you score one bucket. You
Right?
better be 35 away from that motherfucker or something. I want to see you put up 50 to break this record.
No, fuck that. He better break that bitch if I'm paying 75,000. He better break that motherfucker today, tonight.
I would be like, LeBron, try to score as many points as possible. So then all you need is like 2 points when we play at home for these tickets. Like, for real, dude.
LeBron got the record. I didn't waste my time for this bullshit. No,
I paid $75,000 for a bucket.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, nah, you got to be up. You got to be down 40 on the 7th when it's time.
Hey, bro, I'm just saying, if I'm going to pay $75,000, I want to see him break the record. I don't care how many times he scores. I don't care how many times. Even if it was only that one goal, I saw it happen.
So now, once that happens, by this time next week, LeBron will be top 5 career all time in points, rebounds, and assists. So, I mean, not top 5, top 10. So seriously though, does this change the GOAT conversation when we talk about LeBron James?
No.
You want to ask? Go ahead, Ty.
No. No. I mean, it just doesn't. I mean, what's the whole GOAT conversation related to? What do we always bring it back to? How many rings do you have? Right? That's what we always do that to. That's the consensus, because it's a lot we can say. Oh, well, he's broke this record. He's broke this record. But there's a lot of people breaking records. So we got to determine, well, which record is more important than the rest of them. So we just settle it on rings.
But this is the scoring record. He'll be the most, he'll be the most scoringest, that's not a word, person in the league.
Let me ask you this. Did you call Kareem the GOAT or did you call Jordan the GOAT?
Call Jordan the GOAT.
You call Jordan the GOAT. Why? Because he has the most rings. He's more influential in the game and all kinds of other stuff. But it ain't because he got the most points scored.
Kareem and Jordan got the same amount of rings.
But they still call it Jordan.
Yeah, but dude, how many rings does Bill Russell have again?
He got 11 of them.
This is true.
So
I don't like that people don't consider him in the conversation, but that's a conversation for another time.
Yeah, dude, so I mean, I think that, I mean, it kind of does, dude. I mean, overall, no matter how good you are, basketball is a team sport. I mean, so when it comes to the finals, bro, that shit's hard to win. I mean, there's gonna be times where you are dog tired, dude, and you need your team to step up. And sometimes, I mean, LeBron just didn't have that team to step up. You know what I mean? But when you have a career, like, even though he's not winning as many finals,
Did we lose you?
I don't know, man. I mean, 10 finals and, 4 finals, you won them, 4 finals MVP, 4 regular season MVP. Like, he got a lot, dude. He's done a lot. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, man. I mean, you could you could put him up there as a GOAT and just say, you know, the Warriors kind of owned y'all a little bit, or you can say you lost 6 times in a finals. You know, it is what it is. But I mean, he's got records, man, and he's breaking this record in fewer games. I know the whole 3-point thing. I think I saw earlier today Kareem had like 1.
That's whole Kareem. They wasn't shooting like that. You got to update.
And see, but
more
like,
impressive.
but I think it's just, LeBron definitely changed the game, just like Kobe changed the game, just like Jordan changed the game. You know what I mean? So, like, in my personal opinion, all of these guys are they're a GOAT. You know, Steph's a GOAT. You know what I mean? But like, if we're talking like, I said a GOAT, bro, changing the game. So like,
I'm about to have to get on camera.
Nah, dude. So growing up, man, like I mean, I was all in sports, dude. Football, basketball, baseball, track, all that stuff, dude. So, like, when I think of a GOAT, dude, I'm looking at somebody that literally changes the game, like from 1 point to 1 point. And LeBron's basically made it like a culture, dude. Like he changed this thing, and he was a big part of the NBA, what it is today. I think I mean it.
For real.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'd say, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, to conclude my whole thing, he is a part of the GOAT conversation and has always been a part of the GOAT conversation. So that's why another reason why I can say it won't change, because he's already on the list. Like, when it comes to the club, you know, he scratched off. He's up there. But I mean, to say he's number 1, I don't know if I can say it.
I think I'm gonna have to agree with Cam. I think it definitely changes it. I'm just gonna read off some stuff for y'all. Shannon Brown, Daniel Gibson, Drew Gooden, Larry Hughes, Zdronis Zagauskas were the team that LeBron James took to the 2007 finals when he was swept by the Spurs. In 2016, Golden State had 73 wins, and they were up 3-1 in the finals. Bron, of course, with the help of Kyrie and Kevin Love, erased that deficit. So I think, and now he's going to be one of the only players top 10, if not the only player, top 10 in rebounds, points, and assists all time. I don't know if we can catapult him, but it should change it, because we're talking about somebody who's not only influenced the game, but he's changed the game. And when we talk about GOATs, we talk about the greatest of all time. Think about what Jordan did. Jordan got 6 rings, 6-0 in the finals, 6 finals MVPs. That's cool. But let's break it down. Patrick Ewing, Clyde Drexler, Gary Payton, Charles Barkley. These are guys who couldn't run a ring while Jordan was in the league because Jordan was in the league.
Right.
So you can, and it's just tough. It's really tough to catapult him because he stopped so many GOATs from eclipsing that stage. The same can be said with LeBron and how many times he stopped guys like Paul Pierce and getting the ring. But the stats, man, we're talking about numbers. Yes, the rings, but that comes back to Cam's point, this being a team sport. I just gave you 2 instances. Well, one instance in 2007 where he lost. He went there with a bunch of nobodies. So, of course, he lost to Tim Duncan and Tony Parker. But 2018, 2019, that was KD, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. Those are 4 Hall of Famers. He had Kevin Love with him.
Bro, you can only do so much at that point. I mean,
So I'm not excusing him. Yes, he got the 6 finals losses, but I'm saying a couple of those losses can be justified. Now that 2011 loss to the Dallas Mavericks, there was no reason. There was no reason in hell for that loss. She never lost that. What? Like boy, you lost Dirk and Jason Terry?
Yeah. Hey JT, my boy though, don't do my man like that.
probably
Yeah,
one of the most earned finals of all time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the 2011 ring definitely one of the most earned. Because Dirk and if Braun was able to do that 2007 against the Spurs, but he couldn't because I just named off. What?
Bro, they were stacked.
But
Oh, man.
here's the thing though.
Okay.
You just named a bunch of players that could not get rings due to Jordan being in the league. And you just name a bunch of great players. You ain't name no bench players, I play 4 or 5 minutes a game. You name players who play the whole game because they have to play the whole game because they're that good to play the whole game. So yeah, okay, LeBron might not have had the perfect team, but a producer just mentioned it too. Jordan got 2 3-peats. So he owned the game of basketball for that period of time twice. That's
Right.
that's another reason why he's the GOAT. And he also said that LeBron got as many losses in the finals as MJ got wins. So I mean, if we're going to compare the two, that has to be in the conversation too. But
Yeah, but dude, Jordan also had he also had Dennis Rodman getting like 87 rebounds a game, dude, to help with it.
And he had the second best player in the league at the time, and Scottie Pippen on it.
this is true. This is true. And he still was playing players who was in that caliber. So I mean, are we going to excuse those players, or are we just going to say Jordan just was that good? Because
Bro, not saying that. Bro, Jordan, bro, I was the Jordan is the GOAT literally for the longest time. The longest time. But dude, I mean, to see LeBron doing what he's doing now after so many years of doing it, like the dude honestly could probably play another like 5-6 years the way that he looks now. And I don't know, man. I mean, I know he's playing a long time, but like Kareem played a long ass time too. So
that motherfucker better not play no motherfucker 5-6 years. They get his ass out of there.
I think Vince Carter has the record at 22 seasons, and Bron's on his 20th or his 21st. He's on his 20th. So I don't know. Well, you talked about that those 2 3-peats. Bron went to the finals 9 consecutive times. I'm talking ran the East. That there were teams that were so glad that Bron got out of the East. They start shipping other players. Other players start coming to the East. What happened when Bron left the East? KD came over.
yep.
Show me what you done. I don't care that you made it. Did you win? You got to win. That's the point. We get there to win. We don't get there to make it. We get there to say, yeah, we win. Yeah, we came in second.
Well, let's break it down. The loss against the Spurs in 2007, justifiable. You played some Hall of Famers and you had nobody on your team. Us 3 could have been out there, been better teammates for LeBron. Now, the loss 2011,
pretty good.
The loss 2011 to the Mavericks, that was inexcusable. I ain't got nothing to say about that one. they lost to Kawhi Leonard, Tony Parker, and Tim Duncan and them boys in 15. So 16, they come back from the 3-1 deficit. In 18 and 19, they were playing the Monstars. It was KD, Clay, and Steph.
The Monstars. Here we go with this super team shit again.
No, I'm not, because it's always been a super team. Jordan's 6 rings because he had the second best player. He had one of the best defensive. Super teams is going to happen. You need a super team to win. I'm not taking that, but I'm saying you facing 3 of the top 10 shooters, 2 of the top 5 shooters of all time. Man, he needed Kyrie, but he didn't have Kyrie the last 2 seasons. So it was like, all right, bro, what else am I doing?
Bro, they'd be the GOAT.
I'm not trying to catapult and say he got one up on Jordan. What I'm saying is it definitely should change. People should start giving, because you keep going back to the ring conversation.
So here's the thing: if we give him the respect that you asking for, and he retires in 3 years and nothing else comes out of it, then what? Are we gonna come out of this conversation and say, well, he's still the GOAT? Or we just gonna be like,
I think there has to be another ring. It definitely has to be another ring, especially if those boys in Golden State even get close to getting one. Because they got 4. They got 4. Bron got 4. They get 5, then we can. I don't even with these stats, we might want to shut that down because
it's gonna be rough.
Man, game for rings. Yes, you play the game for rings, but like, there's only one team that's gonna get that ring. There's only one team that's gonna get that ring.
But see, I don't. But
we don't never talk about him in the GOAT status.
We said who?
But here's the thing, though. So even if LeBron doesn't win another ring, and let's say LeBron at the end of his career is literally number 1 in every category possible, but he doesn't win another ring. I mean, he's still in the conversation of the GOAT.
That 2016 finals really put him up there because he did something that was unprecedented, and he beat a team that was as good as the Warriors were at the time. So I think that really solidified him, especially if he doesn't get any more rings. And then the 2020 bubble ring, yeah, it was tough to get, but it just feel kind of different. I'm not taking nothing from that. It was definitely tough to get, probably one of the tougher ones to get. But, and then it was an unexperienced Heat team. They wasn't ready. They played that Heat team now for the finals. I think that Heat team was smoking. So
they ain't been balling like they supposed to either. So, no.
But we're talking about, if he doesn't get another ring, he already got 4 of them. There's not too many people that can I got 4 of them. Well, I just gave you a list of people who don't got any.
Yeah.
So he's because of Jordan. Yeah, okay.
But look at it like this, man. If he retired today, we going to say he's the GOAT because he is. I mean, because of all of the reasons we've sat here and said, he's changed the game. He changes players. He has an effect. As soon as he walks in the building, he's got an effect on somebody in that building because he's LeBron, and he deserves that respect. What I'm saying, man, it's Michael Jordan, man. It's MJ. Everybody want to be like Mike. I ain't saying nothing about LeBron. Oh, man.
I mean, his acting skills aren't that great, but I think he still got GOAT status. I mean, I'm pretty sure by the end of it, dude, I mean he's gonna have that title.
I mean, he already has it. That's the thing. Like, we've been talking about this for before we should have even been talking about it. We were talking about it.
Oh no,
So,
I mean like to the people that
say
say that he's not or he's never going to be or whatever, like I think by the time he's done, he retires, I think everybody is gonna have that opinion that he is the GOAT.
I mean, all right. Here's my final question. Will you consider him for MVP this year? And then I got a rebuttal question, and that's it.
Oh man,
That's
if
the question.
if the team was doing better, then but nah, I can't overlook what Tatum and Jokic and Luka are doing.
With that said, in the next 3 years, do you think he will be in that conversation?
If he got a team, if his team is up there, if he got a team that's in that top 3 range, then I don't see why not.
What you say, Cam?
I said possibly because I mean I don't know, man. Asking is LeBron in the discussion for MVP is kind of like asking is Brady going to make the playoffs. I think everybody has that mindset at any point during the.
I give you that. It's a toss up. We just don't know. Well, I mean, I can't say that he's gonna be in the MVP run in the next 3 years or this year, especially with the people who's in the MVP running this year, and then the people who are outside of that box. You know what I mean? So it's too many players that are that good that are running for that position, and I just think he's at the end of the rope. I mean, not saying he can't contribute at all.
20 years.
Yeah,
I hope he's at the road. Shit.
Oh man, they need to come on, just let it go.
Oh man, yeah, no, for real. So we'll see it, and hopefully it happens. Especially for those guys who's buying that $75,000 ticket. Hopefully it does happen next Tuesday. Let's get into these football playoffs. We got a Super Bowl schedule. But let's start off with the highlights. 49ers and the Eagles, man. This game was unfortunate, but it was from the morning, from the opening kickoff. This was a blitz by the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts didn't do too much on the ground, 15 of 25, a shade under 150, no passing touchdowns, but he did get one on the ground as the Philadelphia Eagles became only the 4th team to rush for 4 touchdowns on the ground during the conference championship game. Brock Purdy went out during the first drive. He only threw 4 passes and later revealed he had a torn UCL. We're going to see right here, 4th down play. This play to Devontae Smith, one-hand catch, or is it not a catch? He gets up, then this really shaped the whole game. Tells these guys to hurry up because he understands he probably didn't catch that. With the catch going to the ground, the ball moved. He didn't catch it. 2 plays later, these guys scored. So, and from that, it was just a blitz. Josh Johnson came in. Now, he's a backup to Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy was a 3rd stringer, which means Josh Johnson was a 4th stringer. Probably practice squad on most teams. So he went out with a concussion, which means Brock Purdy had to come back in with a bad elbow. And it just never looked good. Jalen Hurts currently has 15 touchdowns, including the postseason, on the ground. That's an NFL record for quarterbacks. With that being said, how important will it be for him to get going on the ground when they get to the Super Bowl in a couple weeks?
I think that it's going to be pretty important, dude, because 15 touchdowns on the season, but there were a couple of games where he had 2 touchdowns in that game, and then he had one game where he rushed for 3. So, I mean, 15 touchdowns is a lot. I mean, it's kind of almost averaged out to, a touchdown a game, in the regular season, but that's not really the case. I mean, he pretty much scored in like half of the games right now. So, I mean, he's got to get at least 1 on the ground. But, I mean, throwing wise, I mean, he's only throwing 25 times. And, he had 15 of those that were completed. 121 yards. So I mean, they're little small passes, man. They're nothing like too crazy. I mean, obviously, Devontae Smith had that catch. That was a pretty deep pass. At least if you're looking at yardage wise, that's a pretty deep pass. But I think he's got to get one, man. He's got to get at least one.
Man, I don't know if he has to get one. It'd be nice. It'd be great. And it would be something that we look forward to because he does have 15 of them. But I think as long as he contributes with his legs, that yardage that he gains while he's running, I think that should honestly be enough. I mean, their team running on all cylinders like they've been running all year. I honestly got them winning. So,
I think his running game needs to be a factor. If he scores one, it definitely means that they're doing something right, or they can do that goal line play that they love to do with Hurts so well. Let's put the things in perspective. Austin Eckler led the league in rushing touchdowns. He had 17. The next guy was my guy from Detroit, Jamal Williams. He had 15. So these guys are running backs. So for Jalen Hurts to have that type of production is definitely going to be needed. But Cam, you alluded to the point. 25 passing attempts is not going to beat it when you know you're going to be in a shootout. I don't care how many times you could talk about defense. When you're playing a guy like Patrick Mahomes, you need to expect a shootout or blitz him from the beginning. We seen the game plan from 2020 when Tampa Bay did it, but I don't know, because you know how to keep that ball away from him, and the only way to do that is if you mix in the run. So I think it needs to be it ain't broke, so don't fix it. You need to keep that system going. Jalen Hurts been running maybe about 7-8 times a game, quarterback design runs. It ain't broke. This is a Super Bowl. I understand he might be nursing an injury, but it's a Super Bowl. So if Jalen Hurts, if that's what works and what has been working, run that ball 18, 19 times with him. He only throw that ball 18, 19 times. Because for as long as I can remember, I don't know a team that's won with this style of quarterback, the way that Jalen Hurts plays. So if they want to win, they're going to have to stick to the system. I don't see a reason why you want to go pass with Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, this isn't the same Patrick Mahomes, ladies and gentlemen. This man is injured and has showed that his injury is affecting him on the field. So if he's not at 100%, then I don't think it's going to be a shootout, because he showed us that trying to drop back on that foot is difficult right now. And if he can't do it properly, those passes are susceptible to be picked, batted down, whatever. And not taking anything away from Patrick, because I think he's still going to be crazy accurate even without being able to plant like that, because he did show glimpses of that in the game as well. But he was not the same Patrick last week. So we just going to have to see how the injury unfolds, honestly.
Yeah, but even still, 70% Patrick Mahomes, I will take that over 100% half the quarterbacks in the league. So
yeah, sure.
But will you take it over 100% Jalen Hurts?
No, and that's what I'm saying. But with what I said, I still don't want the ball in Patrick Mahomes' hands. I don't give a damn how hurt he is. So if I need to do it like that, and I'm gonna keep giving them ball if I'm scoring quick, if I'm trying to hit those deep passes. But if I can knock them out with knockout punches and getting Jalen Hurts, and now you don't know what I'm going to do, because that's when the Eagles was really beating down on teams, when Jalen Hurts was breaking down and running, and then they didn't know what was going down, and then he just go over the top to either Batman AJ Brown or Slim Reaper Devontae Smith. So I think if they stop Jalen Hurts in the run game, then this is a different game.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take my chances. If it does turn into a shootout, I'm gonna take my chances with the guy in Mahomes. Now, Jalen Hurts has shown that he can. He showed it in Oklahoma, showed it in Alabama, and he showed it in Philly that he not no slouch. So if you want to go out there, we can go punch for punch. I think this is going to be higher scoring than a lot of people think it is. I don't think defense is going to rule this game because I don't know these quarterbacks are going to.
What'd you say, Cam?
I said I think so too. I mean, when we get into the Chiefs and Bengals game, I think you might see why it might be a little bit closer than what you think, even with Mahomes at 70%.
I'm trying to tell.
Let's not get to the Bengals game yet, okay? Because I don't want to do that. I already told y'all before we got on here. Let's not even do that. Okay?
Let's roll into the Chiefs and Bengals highlights.
Oh Lord.
So this game was a lot closer, and it's part 4 of the Mahomes Burrow rivalry, and Mahomes finally got him a W. Joe Burrow threw 2 picks to 1 touchdown. Patrick Mahomes went 29 for 43, 326 yards, a couple touchdowns, no picks. Hobbled around for the most part. Chris Jones showed up with 2 sacks, 3 tackles for losses, and a bunch of the Kansas City rookies showed up in the secondary. So, was this game more about Mahomes' stellar play, or was it more about the Bengals' missed chances? Since you have so much to say, Ty.
The Bengals lost the game, bro. Like, I mean, I don't want to blame it on any one person, but I mean, Burrow threw 2 picks, and the amount of penalties that were called, like, this is a playoff game, bro. You cannot have that, and it showed that. When the last time you seen KC only put up 23? So it showed that it wasn't them who won the game. It was Joe Burrow and his team who lost the game. And then at the end of the game, 58, man. I don't even want to. I want to rain on Buddy Parade because I know he already feeling it. But bro, you cannot do that. You cannot. That's the last thing you can do with the game on the line. Last seconds of the game, you lost that game. Not only due to that, but that played a big percentage. Patrick Mahomes.
Before you jump in there, Cam. Burrow was sacked 3 times in the first quarter.
Right.
I mean, I'm just saying. You're saying Cincinnati lost the game, yes, because of a result of Kansas City winning. You can proceed, Cam.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So, well, look, man. So
Evidence than that.
I know you heard the stat. A 70% Mahomes threw for 326 yards and 2 touchdowns and no picks.
So we saying he was at 70%.
That's what Mahomes.
I was just using. I was using your reference. I was using your reference on Mahomes, him being 70%. So
I only said that because that's what was said. That's what was said.
That's from the horse's mouth. That's from Mahomes.
So either way, bro, Mahomes killed it. He had a great game. And then also Valdez-Scantling, great game, 6 receptions, 116 yards. Also another person, he had a great game. So how did I think Kansas City won this game? Mahomes came out, everybody knew he was hurt, had a game like that. Joe Burrow's 2 interceptions, one of them to Jalen Watson from Augusta, Georgia. Shout out Jalen Watson. And then, I mean, since he had 3 field goals by halftime. So I think Kansas City showed up. I get the penalty at the end of the game. And then Butker, 3 for 3 on field goals. So he's doing his job. Two extra points made. He's doing his job. So people are looking at one play or like a couple of plays that Cincinnati, I mean, they fucked up.
There was a lot of plays. There was a lot of penalties on that game.
There was, man, but I think Kansas City, I mean, they fought for it, man. They fought for it.
Let's be honest. If that never happened, and we know what I'm talking about, if it never happened, who would have won that game?
Well, the game's going in overtime, and I don't see.
I don't know that it was going into overtime. We don't know that because he had time on the clock.
I think Andy Reid. I think Andy Reid, if anything, if there was time left to make another play, I think Andy Reid would have just said, "Nope, we're going to overtime," and then I think that the Chiefs would have came back out and won it.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
We have to well, not assume, but we have to at least understand that Mahomes had the capability to get into overtime. Mahomes had the capability. We've seen it multiple times to go down there and score a touchdown. And it's unfortunate we didn't get to see the new overtime rules, because had he did that, scored a touchdown, Burrow would have had the opportunity to answer him. So it'd have been nice to see that. But I think even in overtime, these guys would score. Because I'm gonna break down some things that Cincinnati just didn't do right. It's third down, third and 8. Their next to last possession. Burrow scrambles 10 yards. Is get called back for a holding. All right, cool. And then we look the possession prior to that. Burrow underthrows T. Higgins and allows Cook to tap the ball, which ends up in Williams' hands. And now we got to go back down the field again. And we can't talk you talked about Joseph Ossai's roughing the passer penalty. So, and that would have been a 60-yard field goal. So I don't know if Butker would have made that. He has a nice leg, but that 15 yards made it a 45-yard field goal. So these things led to the demise because of the fact that Kansas City was able to capitalize.
I don't know that they capitalized. I just think that they got put in a good position.
Overtime. So Harrison Butker still had to make the field goal. Mahomes still had to throw that touchdown pass to Valdez-Scantling on third down. He still had to make that fourth down conversion to begin the game. So they capitalized where the Bengals didn't.
Okay.
The Bengals did everything right. And that was, I mean, they shut down the run.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Mahomes saw that they were shutting down the run and then came out and threw 326 yards.
Yeah, I mean, he is Mahomes. He's going to do Mahomes type things, but let's be real. That wasn't Mahomes. Purdy could have did that. Hey, there's a list of quarterbacks. There's a list of quarterbacks who could have gone out there and actually.
I'm about to get him. Go ahead. Let him. I'm about to get him. Go ahead.
Because there's a list of quarterbacks who could have gone out there and actually won that game. I'm not saying Mahomes didn't contribute to the game, but that is the same Mahomes that we see every week. And for them for that game to be what it was with the Bengals having so many mistakes in the game, yes, KC should have been 1,000 points ahead. If they're making that many mistakes in the game, this team that we know to be the Bengals who don't make all of these mistakes and capitalize on other teams' downfall, but it's just the way the game fell. That's really honestly what it is, and it wasn't supposed to fall that way, but it is what it is.
No, it definitely wasn't supposed to fall that way because Cincinnati had the opportunities, they just didn't capitalize. But to your point, that any quarterback could have done it. So Patrick Mahomes had a high ankle sprain. We've seen multiple possessions, even running through the highlight. Even running through the highlight, you seen where he was hobbling around in the pocket. So we can use the 14 quarterbacks that started playoff games this year. Geno Smith, is he doing that with a high ankle sprain, throwing for 326 yards and getting his team in position to win?
On that
No.
team, maybe. It's different.
Okay. Is Danny Jones doing that?
I ain't saying, but I'm saying.
Is Danny Jones doing that?
Hey, man, don't play with
The same type of conditions.
Not the same kind of conditions, no.
Exactly.
Not with the high ankle sprain, no.
So, and to do that and to do it at an efficient clip, he had one turnover. That was a fumble. That was a weird play. But he didn't put the ball into harm's way at all. He made the right play. He wasn't trying to do that Mahomes shit that he usually does. He was trying to go 50 yards where he could have just made a 10-yard pass. No, he made it. He made it easy. And where Andy Reid really shines is making sure that his guys are in the best possible spot to make the best possible play. And that's going to happen again in 2 weeks. With 2 weeks of rest, and that man went out there and balled the way he balled on Sunday, I don't see why he can't just go out there and run up the numbers.
On that defense? The Eagles defense? Y'all crazy if y'all think that Mahomes is going to go out there.
What quarterback has the Eagles played? What quarterback has the Eagles played this year that can do the things that can even make the plays? They haven't seen anybody even close to Mahomes' level this year.
Let's not talk about Mahomes because it's not going to be down to him. It's going to be down to his line. It's going to be that defensive line, that monstrous defensive line versus that offensive line. And I might can move Mahomes. That's what I'm saying. He might can move, but in the sense that he can't, and ain't nobody downfield, and he's fucked half the game, bro. The Eagles gonna dominate that, bro. I'm telling you.
The Chiefs got one of the best lines, like the Eagles do.
It shit look like
I think that defense is gonna be a little too much for him.
Yeah, bro, that shit is treacherous. Shit gonna be scary. Mahomes gonna be right there scared.
There's ways to make sure that Mahomes can get the ball off quick. They can find different ways to get his guys the ball. Then Andy Reid's not gonna have Mahomes sitting back there like a sitting duck. And I understand the defense. You got Joshua, Hassan Reddick, Ndamukong Suh. You got these guys. You got these big guys. But if Mahomes can do it, if he can get the ball out quick and make sure that he's controlling the tempo, then this is different. It's all about who can control the tempo. And it comes back to what I said. The Eagles hasn't faced anybody close to the Chiefs' talent.
Yeah, but dude, I mean, if we're talking, you're talking about controlling the game. I think the Eagles do a really good job of that with rushing. I mean, this past game, bro, they had 44 carries total, split between 4 people, and they only threw the ball, like I said earlier, 25 times.
Here's what I would do if I was Andy Reid. If I win a coin toss, I want the ball back. I want the ball first. I want to score first. I want to really show you. Now, you got to play, keep up with me. Because you're talking to me as if these Chiefs are going to be, like they're going to be susceptible to everything that these other opponents have faced, that the Eagles opponents have faced. Let's talk about it. Dallas, when they faced them, now Jalen Hurts wasn't playing Christmas Eve, but they put up 40 against them. Put up 40. So, and they didn't have a guy like Travis Kelce. Yeah, so um, Travis Kelsey is there, and I understand that the line is nice and the secondary is very solid, but them linebackers, they're susceptible to get burnt by Kelsey. Kelsey can fuck around, have 12, 13 catches this game. And that's not something you want from anybody.
How many sacks does this defense have?
So the defense, that's a great point that you brought up. The defense has about 80 sacks on the year, including the playoffs, right? The Chiefs haven't even allowed 30 all year.
Haven't allowed 30 sacks.
Yeah, I think.
But have they played the
I think
Eagles?
they're at like 28 or something like that.
Yeah, no, they haven't played the Eagles.
That go back to your point. They ain't seen each other, so it's gonna be a toss up. Yeah, we are adding on and embellishing, but the thing is, if Mahomes ain't 100%, that team ain't 100%, and we done seen that in multiple occasions. So it's gonna really come down to him being as healthy as possible. If he is as healthy as possible, like Mahomes 90% healthy, all right, this game is different. This is a whole different game. But with him,
we're talking about the X factors. Cam brought up Jalen Watson. Jalen Watson has an interception every game this postseason. He had a one-handed interception last week against the Jaguars. So now, and MVS, Valdez Scantling, 6 catches, a touchdown. You know what you're going to have from Travis Kelsey. Chris Jones had a couple sacks. So once those other guys step up, then we're talking about something now. Because now we're going to play mano a mano. And I will give the skilled player edge to the Philadelphia Eagles. But now it's about scheme and systematic and execution. The Eagles, there's been 6 players from that 2017 Super Bowl squad that's still on that team. Kansas City was just in the Super Bowl 3 years ago.
facts.
This will be their 3rd Super Bowl in 5 years. So that they understand what it takes to win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think experience is going to show up here. This is Mahomes' 3rd Super Bowl. This will be Jalen Hurts' 1st. So
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. They do got more experience. I just know what I've been seeing all year. Them boys be
now,
Hey, quick fact. So I know that I said earlier, Jalen Watson. He's from my hometown, right? He actually went to my high school. Yeah. So he graduated from one of the public schools here. He went there his senior year, but like his like freshman through junior year, he went to my high school. And he just got more publicity at that other school. So
yeah, it'd be like that.
yeah.
But I'm excited for this game, man. I really am. I really am. I'm just be sitting there drinking beer, doing a lot of nothing, glued, watching Jalen go crazy. Well, I ain't no Eagles fan, but I'm gonna be screaming and fly Eagles fly on next Sunday. Boy, I'm trying to tell you.
all right, and Ty didn't have one for this week. It was really kind of he was just really really trying to figure out what was going on. It was really a tough week to judge it, but for a championship week MVP, the best player of the championship weekend, I got Hassan Reddick. This guy right here, that man, three tackles, 2 sacks, a forced fumble, and I'm pretty sure he's in the dreams and nightmares of Brock Purdy and Josh Johnson. I don't know what Kyle Shanahan was thinking. He had back tight ends. He had one play where he didn't even guard this man. And I don't understand. It's just Hassan Reddick is a problem. I know I just said all that stuff about Mahomes being able to, but if you're Andy Reid, you got to make sure that this guy is not the guy wrecking the Super Bowl for you guys. And Cam, what about you? Who was your guys for the what was your unit that stood out?
Yeah, I couldn't just pick one, man. That was my phone. Sorry. Um, yeah, but I had to get I had to get all three running backs in Philly. They had a great game. They spread the ball out well. Um, Kenneth Gainwell had 14 carries, 48 yards. He didn't score, but he led. Um, he led with the most yards. Miles Sanders, 11 carries, 42 yards, 2 touchdowns. Boston Scott, not as many carries, 6 carries, obviously fewer yards, 21 yards, but he also had a touchdown. So like collectively, solid unit. The averages between these running backs are 3.4, 3.8, and 3.5. So as much as Philly is running the ball, those three had 33 carries total. So I think that's a really really solid numbers for that trio. So I had to pick all three of them, dude. It's hard to not pick all of them.
That's really tough. We got Philly guys who were the most outstanding guys. I understand. Um, I will shout out what Patrick Mahomes did because that was definitely stellar. Remember to join us next week where it's everything Super Bowl and we're going to have a fun one. I am looking forward to this one. I think this is going to be a very good Super Bowl. But y'all know how we got to get out of here. Y'all ready?
Yeah, come on with it.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So since the Super Bowl week coming up, I got a good one for you guys. Why did Sean McVay go to the Detroit gas station?
Yeah, you going? Yeah.
Y'all can see that. To get his quarterback.
Okay. Oh,
He can't do him at Stafford no more.
oh,